Okay, most common issues that I see with bench: elbow flaring and losing our elbows position at the bottom. So what I mean by that last one is when we're in that bottom position, notice the forearm angle. What we want is to be like perpendicular to the floor, but what happens, a lot of people end up in a position like this and they go to press and they gotta have to flare. So those things kind of go hand in hand. What does it come back to? Ability to keep our lats tight, number one. Two, it's gonna be general mobility that we have with our shoulder. And three, how much of a good upper back position are we able to get? So we're gonna talk about that real quick. Why does my elbow position matter? Here's why. Okay, we start here. Path comes down to chest. We want to keep at least a perpendicular angle to the floor with our forearm, if not slightly directed towards our face, so that when we do press, we're able to press back to that bar over our face, okay? It's not linear, it's not straight up and down. It's a little bit of a J curve. So we come down here, we press back up over our face. The key components of that are a tight upper back, like I have now, all right? Keeping our tall chest and controlling the angle of our forearms, all right? So we're here, not somewhere like this, all right? Because then if we go to press, especially if we're trying to max out or go for heavy reps, anything, we are not set up to transfer energy and force into the bar, okay? It's just a no-no. So, how do we fix that? Back to the first thing I talk about is just our lat strength in general. If we do not have strong enough lats to where we can adduct, okay, the whole point of our lat when we're benching is to keep our arm locked into position, okay? To the point where there is a happy medium, okay? We want to keep it tight and locked in. Common issue is that people over tuck and they twist their elbows in, they start crooking their arm like this and they press like this. That's not going to help either, because now we're overcompensating, we're sitting, and then what happens? We come down, if I over tuck, it's just pulling my shoulder forward. This is exactly what we talked about not doing to begin with. So just get your lat stronger. If you are seeing that like at a manageable weight and you're having that control into the bottom, and then you go to press and then your elbows are still flaring, there's a good chance you just need to get your lats stronger. So with lat pull downs, it's very common for people, especially because when you secure your legs in, all right, there's really nothing holding you back from loading that bitch up all the way. Then what do? They body English the fuck out of it, and it's no longer an isolation movement, okay? Because remember, in this specific scenario, what we're trying to do is isolate the lat and increase its ability to adduct the arm, to bring that arm closer to our body so that when we come in and we bench, we can keep that position. So what we want to do with our lat pull downs is recreate that and target that as much as we can. How? Great tip I learned from my coach: take the pad off your knees, because then it is going to limit the amount of weight you control. That's step one. Number two, instead of leaning back into it, okay, which is going to more bias your mid back, all right, stay as vertical as you can and just think about what we're going to think about. Staying as vertical as we can and just shooting that elbow. Think about your elbow, okay? Shoot that elbow out, try to get it as far down as you can. Okay, we're doing this for our lat pull down. Boom, okay? We're gonna get a little bit of that T-spine arch in there, that's fine. But the point is to isolate the lat to where we get this stronger, so then when we come down and we bench, our position can be stronger. That's step one. The second thing I mentioned was general shoulder, upper back mobility. Huge limiting factor for a lot of people, including myself. I feel tight as shit because what is the modern day and age? We're hunched over computers, we're hunched over fucking everything. How often do we get any sort of like lubricating movement to our upper body? And then we come in and we expect to bench mad weight, and then we don't pay attention to that stuff, and we wonder why our shoulders hurt all the time and shit doesn't move the way we want it to, and our bar path sucks. It's probably because our upper body, our shoulders, our T-spine are all out of whack. So we got to pay attention to that. So how do we fix it? By warming up intentionally. Great one. I don't even know what to call this. Dumbbells, knee supported shoulder external rotation is what I've been calling them. But anyways, you're in a position like this. Open up your chest. Externally rotate the shoulder. Keep the shoulder depressed, the scap retracted, and control some external rotation. Because we need to externally rotate to get in a bench position. That's number one. Two, lats. Do some lat pull downs. Do some freaking bent over rows. Do something, some sort of priming movement to get your lats to, one, loosen up, as well as prime, get ready to engage and hold that isometric while we're benching for stability. dumbbell pullovers, and I am doing these for the first time right now since my pec tear, so this is awesome. Granted, I would do them on the bench. I would do it laying on the bench because it's gonna recreate your bench position a bit more. But overarching thing, same thing we talked about, tall chest, exaggerate that shit, and feel the stretch, okay? What are we looking for with these? Serratus, lat, and pec are all working together to move the weight. Same thing that's gonna happen. All those muscle groups, lat, serratus, are gonna help stabilize. Pec is one of the primary moves, but you're benching with your torso. All right, you think about it, it's everything here is working together to bench. Dumbbell pullovers are a great warm-up and supplemental movement for developing a good bench torso. So lastly, we're gonna talk about upper back position. Those warm-ups we just mentioned are gonna help with that a lot too, as well as what it comes down to is, remember that bench is a full body movement, okay? The sooner that you can think of it that way and implement that when you're training your bench, the more you'll realize that you'll be able to move weights that you're currently moving better, because chances are if you're not already paying attention to this, you're kind of approaching bench like very kind of like nonchalant, like it's just bench and you just lay down and you bench. But no, the sooner you apply your full body and a maximum effort with maintaining a specific position, the smoother you're gonna realize bench is gonna go. So what we commonly see with bench, I'm chilling here, nothing's really going on. I'm just letting my upper body do the work, okay? Nothing inherently wrong with this, but if you're trying to be as strong as you possibly can, some things need to change. One, we gotta create tension from our feet to our upper back. So I'm bringing my feet a little closer. I'm constantly pushing myself up the bench, okay? And then I'm squeezing my ass and I'm pushing my knees out. That's step one. It all comes back to leverage and position and creating tension. If we can isolate and immobilize from my feet to my T-spine, okay? And then all that's really we gotta focus on now is those moving parts from our shoulder to the bar, all right? If we can solidify everything else, build our base, everything else is gonna go a lot smoother. What that looks like. Before you even unrack, you need to get into your position. So this is a whole other thing, but find tight feet, okay? Planted them, I'm pushing up, I'm squeezing my ass, I'm pushing my hips out, and I'm digging my upper back into this bench. So now I'm here. And notice my T-spine, like I'm trying to, the good cue is spine through chest. Like someone's gonna rip your spine through your chest, whatever. Like this needs to go towards that ceiling, all right? So we're maintaining that. I'm putting all my energy into that. I'm pressing through the floor with my feet. Okay, so now I'm here. Now my chest is already closer to the bar, and mechanically I'm in a better position to transfer force into the bar. So all we gotta do is bench. I'm maintaining my position. I don't have to come down as low, and I'm ready to press. It all is just a game of angles and leverages. The more energy you exert on your position, the better the lift is gonna go. The reason we want that good upper back arch is because it gets everything nice and tight. When you want tight, because we want energy to transfer as we contract, okay? If we're all loosey-goosey, it's like trying to break down a wall with a pool noodle. We don't want that. Be a crowbar. A crowbar is firm. Your body should be firm when you're benching, okay? So when you, from the feet to your upper back, everything is nice and tight and contracted. You have a tall chest. Be the crowbar. Don't be the pool noodle. So, full circle. To fix elbow flare and loss of position in the bottom of our bench, we come back to just lat strength, shoulder, upper back mobility, and the ability to create a nice tight position, mostly focusing on our T-spine, thoracic spine. If we can get all those things working together, that's what is going to make for a good bench. That's what's going to eliminate that poor position in the bottom. That's going to eliminate our chest caving. That's going to eliminate the elbow flare. Happy lifting.